China, politics and security in South Asia, and the Middle East. He has over a dozen publications to his name, covering topics pertaining to international security, South Asian diplomacy, and India-Taiwan relations. Welcome, Dr. Chen, and thank you so much for being here. And we also have Mr. Jatin Desai, a senior journalist and peace activist. He writes columns in various Marathi, Gujarati, and English newspapers, periodicals, and appears on news channels on international affairs in general, and with a focus on SAARC countries in West Asia. He is a former Secretary of India chapter of Pakistan-India People's Forum for Peace and Democracy, and bureau member of South Asians for Human Rights. He was chairperson of the Mumbai Union of Journalists for 4 years, and during that period, he fought valiantly for freedom of press, freedom of speech and expression. Mr. Desai's major contribution is in the field of promoting peace and friendship between India and Pakistan. He was instrumental in getting around 1,000 Indian fishermen released and repatriated from the custody of Pakistan, and also many Pakistani fishermen from Indian prisons. These fishermen had to spend 2 to 3 years in each other's nations in the prison for inadvertently crossing the water border. He was also instrumental in getting release and repatriation of Mr. Hamid Ansari from the Pakistani prison. He entered Pakistan illegally from Afghanistan to save his friend. After a long struggle, he was released and repatriated on 18th December 2018. His was the first case when a prisoner from either India or Pakistan was released and repatriated on the day of completion of sentence. A book on his struggle and suffering in Pakistan's prisons, authored by Hamid Ansari himself, is published by Penguin. Thank you, sir, for being here today. I would now like to request Mr. Ambrish Mishra, senior journalist, to please felicitate our guests. Honorable Member of Parliament, Mrs. Sule, is running slightly late due to another engagement, but she should be joining us soon. Yes, please, sir. So this is for Mr. Chen, and then this is for Desai. Yeah.
And this is for my very tall friend, Jatin Desai. We are friends for the last, I don't know how many years.
We'd also like to thank our young friend and MLA of Bandra East, Mr. Zishan Siddiqui, for being here today. Thank you, Zishan. And thank you to all the students and professors of various universities across Mumbai for being here today. Your support means a lot. Now, I think we should begin with the program. And so you want to start?
This one, okay. I see, okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, namaste. Yeah, yeah, yeah. May Taiwan say hun. Okay. I don't know how much a difference between Marathi and Hindi. Yeah, a lot of, okay, yeah. So I have to be very careful, you know, when I travel. If in a place that people don't speak Hindi, I usually don't. Yeah, but here I think that, yeah, you understand. Yeah, okay. Thanks for inviting me today, and I'm also very happy to see so many people come to attend this event. You know, usually a Friday late afternoon. You know, if event like this, if you invite me, I don't come. You know, Friday. Yeah. After a whole week of hard work, is a time for having party, meeting friends. But you come to see someone talking about a country you never visit. It's kind of weird. Yeah. So it's quite challenging for me. You know. Yeah. I've been to Mumbai a couple of times, and I enjoy. Particularly right now, if you've been to Delhi recently, you know the cold, huh? Yeah. Delhi is really cold. Yeah, even colder than Taiwan. I didn't expect that coldness. Yeah. So, but Mumbai actually the climate, the environment, and also the people are quite similar to Taiwanese. Yeah. So we are natural friends. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Taiwan also, we also have a lot of, Mumbai is an economic and a financial hub of India, and not just India, but the whole world. Yeah. And this Delhi is totally different. And in Taiwan, I think that if people visit Delhi and see Mumbai, I think that we feel more common in Mumbai than in Delhi. Yeah. Okay. Now let me start my presentation. Earlier, you introduced me. I'm now Mumbai University. It is the oldest university in India, right? Okay, so we should have some cooperation in future. Yeah. Okay. And while I'm here as a professor, and actually, earlier I said that I'm a professor teaching international relations. But in the past 10, 15 years, my research was mostly about India. Yeah. So in Taiwan, I teach courses about India, South Asia, including India-Pakistan relations, South Asian security issues, and of course, India-China relations. Yeah, but in 2020, my government appointed me here to India as a deputy ambassador, a deputy representative. Yeah, for me, it's a new experience. Yeah, I'm also learning. Even I came to India many times. My first time came to India was 2006 or 7. Yeah, and today, after 15, 16 years, this country is totally different. Yeah, I see a huge progress. Yeah. Okay, and but I'm for me now working in India is a new experience, and I'm still learning, and of course making new friends every day. Yeah, including today. Yeah. Okay. But the topic for today is Taiwan. Okay. Any of you been to Taiwan? Okay. So that's why you have to come to this lecture today. Okay. Yeah, you never been to Taiwan, but you know it is a country, and that it's very different from India. Yeah, but there's something probably you heard of, or it is related to Taiwan. Like we now have a female president. Yeah, Madam Tsai Ing-wen. Yeah. She is a female, and she elected to be president since 2016. Her term is till next year, because she got re-elected in 2020. Yeah, and she is actually not very outspoken, but she is a very, courageous. And particularly when a lot of international media are now concerned about the security situation of Taiwan, relation with China, and I think that she did an excellent job, trying to defend Taiwan's sovereignty, freedom, security, democracy. Yeah. There are some connections between both sides, and most of the Indian audience don't know, you know the movie Life of Pi, right? Okay, it is a story, great story. I love that movie very much. Yeah, that movie actually is not directed by Indian director. It's by a Taiwanese director. His name is An Lee. Yeah, and actually the movie was also not shot in India. It was actually shot in Taiwan. Yeah, actually in my city, they built a huge water tank. So the tiger and the ship, everything is on the water tank, and then they use a computer, technology, to make it look like a sea. Yeah, I'm glad that a Taiwanese director who could make a movie and a story is about India. Yeah, okay, and Indian philosophy. Yeah. And last year there's a TV drama in Taiwan. It's called Gold Leaf. Gold Leaf, and that is a Taiwanese, and that TV drama is talking about Taiwan's tea, Taiwan tea, and you know that Indian also drink tea a lot. Taiwanese, we also drink tea a lot. Yeah, actually, not many people in India know that the Taiwanese tea were introduced from Assam in 1920s. Yeah, Taiwanese black tea was not from China; it's actually from India. Yeah, introduced by the Japanese. Yeah, in 1925. Yeah, so I went to Assam. I told the people there, say that, okay, Taiwan is introduced tea to Taiwan in 1925. So in 2025, 2 years from now, will be 100-year anniversary. Yeah, we should have some celebration. Yeah, okay, between both sides. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so there are some connections. Yeah, even these connections is a part of history. Yeah, most people don't know. But I do see some changing images of Taiwan in India, yeah, in the past few years. I remember 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when I came to India, I visited think tanks, went to universities to give talks about Taiwan. People don't care much. Yeah, for India, Taiwan is too small. Yeah, and Taiwan's importance is also insignificant. Yeah, but right now different. Yeah, right now that every month you will see Indian media reporting about Taiwan. Of course, not everything is about Taiwan. Also, a lot of reports is about security-related issues, like China's military threat against Taiwan. Taiwan's relation with the U.S. or Taiwan's semiconductor, industry. Yeah, okay. Taiwanese investment, things like that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. It means that the Indian public also became more concerned about international affairs and also know about the situation outside, outside South Asia. Yeah, because Taiwan, if you go to Japan, Korea, or East Asian countries, that the situation, between Taiwan and China, or the geopolitical issues, everybody know. But here in South Asia, in the past, the people did not know much. So I think that now that more media and the public, opinions pay attention to Taiwan is a good thing. Yeah. Let me briefly introduce about our country. Yeah. Because India is a huge country, so perhaps that for you, you cannot imagine when you live in a small country what it look like. Okay, land area is only 36,000 square kilometers. It's only the size of Kerala. Yeah, Kerala state. Yeah, and the population 23 million. I think Mumbai city, right? Roughly, yeah, okay. So the whole island population, yeah, just in India, just one city, Mumbai, yeah. And you see the figures like literacy, life expectancy, is very good. It's a highly developed society. GDP per capita, more than $35,000 US, and this year our GDP per capita surpassed Japan. Yeah, higher than Japan and Korea. Yeah, okay. But we also have some problem. Later, I'll explain. Yeah, and you see the map. It's an island shaped like a leaf, and but we also have some small islands. Yeah, some small islands are even very close to China. Did you see? Yeah, it's under Taiwanese jurisdiction, Kinmen, Mazu. Yeah, and Taiwan has actually is a small island, but actually also a very mountainous island. Yeah, 70% of the land areas are mountains. Yeah, Mumbai has no mountain, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like do mountain climbing. So I live in Delhi. I saw it also very boring, Yeah, and no sea. I also love swimming. Yeah, in Delhi also no sea. Yeah, but in Taiwan, I think we are very lucky. We have a mountain. We also have a sea. Yeah, so if you like to do swimming, you like to do hiking, it's a perfect place. Yeah, yeah. Because of a lot of mountains, and so people only live in the small plain areas, mostly on the west side. Yeah. And the highest mountain in Taiwan is almost 4,000 meters. Yeah, so it actually snow. Yeah, it looked like a tropical island, but actually in winter time, the mountain peak snow, just like in India. Yeah, in the Himalayas. Yeah, it's a small country. Population I just mentioned compared to India. So of course the GDP India is much bigger, and the trade India also bigger. But if you look at the export, Taiwan is bigger than India. Yeah, you see Taiwan's export in 2021, I think this figure is 2021, is $329 billion US dollar. India is $324 billion. Yeah. So Taiwan is not that small if you look at the economic power. Yeah. But later I will also explain there's some problem with this figure. Yeah. The biggest problem for our society is a population. Okay. India is a huge country, but you also have a young population. The average age of India is 28 years old, but Taiwan is 42 years old. So you see this population pyramid, and Taiwan's shape is like this. Yeah, this is very unhealthy. It means a lot of people are in the mid-ages. Okay, yeah, but India is a healthy shape. Yeah, because of you have a huge young population. Yeah, young people means that you have a workforce and you have a consumption force. Yeah, and India's economic growth will continue 50, 70 years, no problem. But Taiwan and many other East Asian countries, including Japan, Korea, and also China, you know, our population structure all look like this. Yeah, so in future, I think that Taiwan could also cooperate with India, you know, like by having some, you know, some people come into Taiwan for career training, or, you know, like have more like exchanges between both sides in labor force. Yeah. What do we have? Yeah, and you never been to Taiwan, but I bet every of you, you know, in your pocket, you must have something made in Taiwan. Yeah, everyone has. Yeah. See your mobile phone. Yeah, okay. Yeah, mobile phone. Of course, your mobile phone. You say, no, I'm using Samsung. I'm using, you know, Oppo. They are not Taiwanese brand. But you look at the chips. Their chips are made in Taiwan. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Taiwan actually you don't see, but they are there. Yeah. Okay. Taiwan. If you see the media, and then you probably get this image. Taiwan is an island of IT. Island of high technologies, yeah, and I don't know why, you know, yeah, because I just use a mobile phone, I use computer, you know, I don't think I'm smarter than other people, but it looked like the whole island, many people, you know, they are interested and they also committed to IT-related industries. Yeah, last time I went back to Taiwan, it was September of last year, and I rode a taxi, and taxi driver, when he drove, he has 3 mobile phones in front of him. Yeah, and he could receive phone calls and make appointment, you know, and everything, you know, he could drive and also watch 3 mobile phones in front of him. Yeah, this is yeah, okay, not very safe. Okay, yeah, but it means that the Taiwanese people really like to, you know, yeah, use all kinds of computer or IT-related products. But here in India, you probably heard of these companies, right? Giant, yeah, okay. Giant is a bicycle company, very, very high-end brand, yeah. Yeah, and they are the world's largest bicycle manufacturer in the world. I see them selling in India, yeah. Acer and Asus are computer companies. Their laptops also popular here in India. Maxis, I don't know if you know, is a tire company. It's not the biggest, but the top 10. Yeah, they now investing in Gujarat. Yeah, and Foxconn, everybody know. Yeah, okay. They make iPhones. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually, Foxconn now is coming to India. Yeah, and so in next 5-10 years, you will see more Foxconn investments. Yeah, in different places of India. Yeah, okay. People also talk about Taiwan's as a leading playing a leading role in the global semiconductor industry. Yeah, and these are the figures you see in terms of IC design, memory, IC chips, foundry. Foundry is a factory building making the semiconductor waffles. Yeah. And IC packaging and testing, you know, and all these sectors, you see that Taiwan is ranked not as number 1 not just number one or number 3, 4. Yeah, it's a leader. Okay, yeah, in the world. And why Taiwan became like this, like IT, just like Mumbai is a financial hub, and why Taiwan become an IT hub? It is because that we invest in IT, yeah, very early, yeah. In the 1970s and 80s, Taiwan was also, just like the days of Vietnam and China, was also making shoes, clothes, like toys. But in the 1980s, Taiwan started to, adjust its developmental strategy. Yeah, focus more on electronic and computer-related products. And the government also invests a lot of money. Yeah. And the biggest project we did starting from the 1970s is that we built science parks. The first one is in Hsinchu, yeah, because there are 2 universities in Hsinchu, Tsinghua University and Jiao Tong University. They are just like IIT, yeah. So the government built up a science park next to them. So students, after they graduate from university, they could work in a science park and focus on some very innovative IT products developing. Yeah, and in the 1990s, 2000s, and until now, you see that Taiwan's IT technologies and the manufacture capacity now became like a leader in the world. Yeah, yeah. And here you will see that in different other areas that Taiwan also as a leader, number 1 in the world. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little bit different things. You know what language we speak in Taiwan? Yeah, we speak Chinese. Yeah. Okay. So when people see Taiwanese, are you Taiwanese or Chinese? Yeah. Even myself also been asked in India. Like when I travel to different places in India, people say, "Hey, you Chinese?" I say, "No, I'm from Taiwan." Yeah. Okay. But what's the difference? You speak Chinese. Yeah. Okay. Yes. This is a issue that trouble every Taiwanese. Okay. Most people, I think more than 95% of the population in Taiwan, they are the immigrants from China. Not right now, okay, hundreds of years. After, yeah, in the past 400 years, yeah, they came to Taiwan and at different time, yeah. And so, but later, they consider Taiwan as a home. Even my father also came from China, 1949. Yeah, but you now ask me, I'm Taiwanese or Chinese, I say I'm Taiwanese. Yeah, and you see this change. In 1992, 30 years ago, when Taiwan started the political reforms, at that time, because at the Kuomintang government, KMT government, they still educated people saying, "You are Chinese, you are Chinese, you are Chinese." So most of the people believe they are Chinese. Okay, yeah. But in 2020, yeah, okay, right now. And you see that most of the people now believe they are Taiwanese. Yeah, now 80-90%, yeah, you see. Yeah, okay, 80-90% of the people believe that they are Taiwanese, okay. But how to tell the difference? Still difficult, okay. And so I think that whether you are Taiwanese or Chinese it's not a problem about your culture or genetics. It's a problem of a political identity. You identify yourself being a Taiwanese, and you think that Taiwan is an independent country. You embrace democracy, okay, and human rights, and that make Taiwanese unique. Yeah, okay. And why Taiwan has this complicated, I would say, identity? It's because of the history. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to give the whole lecture about history, otherwise everyone will just fall into sleep. Yeah, but you can see that in the past 400 years, Taiwan experienced a different, government. Yeah, the first government who ruled Taiwan actually is not Chinese, it's the Dutch. Yeah. The Dutch also came to India? Ah, okay. Because I went to Sri Lanka. They ruled Sri Lanka for 200 years. So I went to some Sri Lanka places. I found it very similar to Taiwan, 400 years ago. Yeah. We also had a fort built by the Dutch the same time, and in Sri Lanka they still have that. Yeah. And we also been occupied by Spaniards, the Spanish people, very short time. Yeah. But the Dutch control and occupy and rule Taiwan in early 17th century. And then there's a Chinese general, his name is Koxinga. He defeated the Dutch and he ruled Taiwan shortly. Yeah. After that, it was a Qing Empire. And Qing Empire defeated Koxinga regime and then ruled Taiwan for 200 years, 1683 to 1895. Okay, so that's the time when a huge number of Chinese people moved to Taiwan. Okay, yeah, and then a bigger change of Taiwan history is 1895. Yeah, Japan and China, they had a war 1 year earlier, and China was defeated. So Japan acquired Taiwan to make it a colony. So Taiwan became Japanese colony in 1895. Yeah, and Japan ruled Taiwan until 1945 when it surrendered. Yeah, so Taiwan compared to other Asian countries, because we know that in World War II, Japan also invaded other Asian countries, and people even today many still have the memory about these war atrocities. But Taiwan is like Japan. Yeah, Taiwanese people society is. Very, very friendly to Japan. Yeah, of course, there's a colonial rule, and they also conduct a lot of atrocities. But Taiwanese people's experience about Japan is quite different, and the difference is because the Japanese people also brought modernization to Taiwan. So in Taiwan today, the city planning, the road system, railroad, everything was first developed by Japan. Yeah, so that is why the Chinese people, they don't understand why you Taiwanese look so pro-Japan. It is because Japan they really brought modernization to this island. Yeah. After World War II, Japan was defeated. Taiwan was sent back to China. But local people were not consulted. They just said, okay, suddenly they became Chinese citizens. But 4 years later, in 1949, that the Chinese Civil War, Mao Zedong defeated Chiang Kai-shek. So Chiang Kai-shek came to Taiwan. And now Taiwan became, under the Chiang Kai-shek government until the 1990s, when we had a political democratization. Yeah. Okay. So today, what's the real name of Taiwan? Here you will see two passports. One is a passport of the Republic Taiwan. One is a passport of the Republic China. Which one is real? When I went out to university to talk, and many people say, no, yeah, you must be Republic Taiwan. No, actually, the right one is the passport we use. That's why that also people get confused, Yeah, here in India, when I show my passport, it's called Republic China. I say, okay, you are from China. Yeah, okay. It's quite difficult to explain. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but if you ask people you want to change the name, people say yes. Say yes, we want to change it. But why you cannot change it? Because if we change the name, we have a new name, we have a new constitution, we have a new flag. Tomorrow there will be war. Because China say if you dare to do anything like this, we will attack you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and Taiwan compared to China is so small. Yeah, you look at the population, land size, GDP, everything. Taiwan is too small. Even the military, China is much bigger than us. So right now, that's why that we have to be very, very careful. A small country lives next to a big neighbor, and this big neighbor is not very, very, yeah. So you have to be very, very be very careful not to offend this big neighbor sometimes. Yeah. During the Cold War times, from 1950s to 1990s, both sides had no contact. Yeah, because Taiwan was with the U.S., the Western camp, and China is a communist country. Yeah, so there was no contact. Yeah, in the late 1980s and 90s, and then began, to open up. China opened up, Taiwan also opened up. So in 1993, the representative from both government, from Taiwan and from China, the first time they met in Singapore, they shook hands, said, okay, we should have some reconciliation. So actually, Taiwan-China relations, they began to improve in the 1990s. It lasted for like 15 years, yeah. And until when? Until around 10 years ago. You see, in 2014, that the photo on the right side, what happened that year? Because at the time, the Taiwanese government want to sign a trade agreement with China. If we sign this trade agreement with China, it's more like an FTA, then the total Taiwan's market will open up to Chinese. Yeah. So the Taiwanese college students, they are so angry. They think that no, we have to protect our interests. Yeah, we have to protect our economy. So they protest in front of our Parliament House. Yeah, and actually, you know, at the time I was also teaching in the university. Even my students went protesting. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, nobody came to my class. Yeah, and they protest for like 2 weeks. They stormed into the Parliament House. Yeah, and then occupied the Parliament House for like for another 2-3 weeks. And eventually they forced the government to withdraw the bill. Yeah, so that was the turning point. Yeah, because at the before 2013-14, I think people in Taiwan had this kind of illusion saying that by engaging with China, we can change them. Yeah, we can change China. China will become more plural, democratic, yeah, and also open up. But later we saw no. China is expanding power. Yeah. So after that, the people in Taiwan had a different feeling about China until today. Yeah. Okay. And I don't need to explain. You know what the media show in the past 2 years. The military, you know, intimidation around Taiwan. Yeah. And they had a lot of airplane incursions into our air defense identification zones. Yeah. And even in India, I see, it is a photo that my friend showed me at 2 years ago, October, because our national day is October 10th. Yeah, in the early morning of October 10th, in front of the Chinese embassy, some pro-Taiwan board were erected in front of the Chinese embassy. Yeah, it happened again next year. Yeah. I don't know who made it. Yeah. It looked like we have a friend in India also supporting Taiwan. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to shift to another topic about Taiwan, India. Okay. China is another issue. Okay. But now let me talk more about Taiwan. Yeah. You see, these photos are taken by me. Okay. In Taipei, we also have an Indian festival. Yeah, you see Taiwanese and the Indian ladies dressing saris and dancing in the streets. Yeah, India for most Taiwanese people, India is they know India. India is a big country, ancient civilization. Yeah, and also a huge cultural influence. Yeah, in Taiwan we have yoga, you know, and we eat curry. Okay, you don't use not but we call Indian food curry. Yeah, yeah. So everybody know about India. Yeah, but not much, you know, like a contact. Yeah, before the 1990s, as I said earlier, that no official contact. Indian government recognized Beijing. Yeah, and so before 1990s, no official contact. Yeah, and then in 1992. In Taiwan, we have a trade promotion office. It's called TAITRA, T-A-I-T-R-A. It's under economic ministry. It's a semi-official for promoting trade and investment. They came to Mumbai. Yeah, at the time, this city is called Bombay. Yeah, they set up a first. So actually, Taiwan's first representative office is in Mumbai. Yeah, in 1992. Yeah. But 3 years later, both government, Indian government and Taiwan government, they signed agreement. So they agree. Both sides agree to set up the representative office. So our office in Delhi is called TECC, Taipei Economic and Cultural Center. Yeah, and the Indian embassy in Taiwan is called India Taipei Association. Yeah, and in 2012, we had another office open up in Chennai. Yeah. And you might ask me, why not Mumbai? Actually, we are planning. We have asked the Indian government to allow us to set up office in Mumbai for quite some time. And they might have some good news this year. Okay. So hopefully we will have a TECC Mumbai this year. Okay. This is our office in Delhi. Okay. So I believe if we have an office in Mumbai, it will be much beautiful than this one, right? Delhi housing is always like this. And in Mumbai, I will rent a very fancy office in BKC. Okay. About the high-level visit, because it's not the diplomatic relations, so there are some restrictions. So far that the Indian, high-ranking officials cannot visit Taiwan. So what we can do is we invite the parliament members to visit. Indian parliament members did visit Taiwan. But the last time they came to Taiwan is like 4 or 5 years ago. After COVID. No Indian parliament member came to Taiwan. Or last year there was one. And Taiwan MPs also visit India. But not very often. Because that both sides, I think that they also have to build up some, like a connection and friendship. We have to find some common ground for cooperation. Mr. Modi actually visited Taiwan in the late 1990s when he was Secretary General of BJP. He visited Taiwan, but it was a long time ago. And the current president of Taiwan, Madam Tsai, she actually came to India. It was before she became president. I don't know why she make this as a tourist. Actually, she came to Mumbai. In 2012. At the time, she was not president. She was the president of the DPP, of the party. And then she came to India, and she stayed here for, I think, like almost 2 weeks. And she came to Mumbai. Actually, she came to Mumbai from Delhi by train. And she said that because I heard from, not from her, but from the people who accompanied her to visit India at the time. She said that I want to see real India. So she insists taking train. So the whole team, like 10 people, took train. I don't know how many hours. It's an overnight train. So actually, our president, she has some impression, she know about India. Perhaps next year after she, because of her term end next year, then she could come again. And when we talk about Taiwan-India relations, the most significant part still economics. Because the Indians want Taiwanese investment. Like in Delhi's trade show, it was taken last year. We have we Taiwan have a bigger pavilion. Because now easy for Taiwan to promote our IT products. 5-10 years ago, probably Indian customers don't know much, but now Indian people know. The trade figure in 2021 is a 7.7 billion. You just mentioned that 7.7 billion US dollars. Okay, India is 15th largest trade partner of Taiwan. Okay. But if you look at this figure compared to other figures, you find it's too small. It only accounts for less than 1% of Taiwan's trade. And you know that India's a trade with China. Okay. So it's so small. Investment. Taiwan is investment in India. Official figure is 1.13 billion US dollars. But the real number might be double. I think it should be more than 2 billion US dollars. Again, it's not big number. And most Taiwanese investments in IT in India, the focus on ICT, electronic engineering, construction, optical, pharmachemicals, machinery, auto parts, and shoemaking. Covering all sectors. The largest sector is mobile phone assembly. all able suppliers, Foxconn, Wistron, Pegatron, they have all shifted to India. Under the new PLI scheme. And the single largest investment is Foxconn. And we also had China Steel is a state-owned company. Because we still use China sometimes. This one I want you to take a look. Okay, this one I particularly make a comparison between Taiwan, India, and also Vietnam, because Vietnam now is replacing China to become Taiwan's major investment partner. Okay, right now we have only about like 100 companies active operating in India, and Taiwanese citizens in India only like 500. I don't know the exact number, but only a couple hundred Taiwanese living here. But you see how many people and how many companies, Taiwanese companies in China. Over 90,000 Taiwanese companies operating in China. And the number of Taiwanese living in China in 2018 is a 4 lakh. Now it's a 1.5 lakh. Because of COVID and many other reasons, they now pulling out from China. And Vietnam, interesting. Vietnam is a very interesting case because 15, 20 years ago, most Taiwanese companies went to China, but now a lot of them pulling out from China, most of them go to Vietnam. Now there are more than 4,600 Taiwanese companies operating in Vietnam. And 80,000 Taiwanese living, the business people living there. And the accumulated FDI in Vietnam is more than $32 billion. So when I talk to Indian friends that you want Taiwanese investment, you are not competing with China. You are actually competing with Vietnam. Because Taiwanese companies are already coming out, pulling out from China. They are relocating, okay? And they find a best place for them. And right now, most of them go to Vietnam. They don't come here. So actually, you have to find some way to attract Taiwanese companies to come to India. Actually, many of them do come to India. They last year, I think that in my office we received more than 20 delegations. From Taiwan's business groups. And many of them told us that the reason they come to see India is because they don't want to continue their business in China. China's environment, for various reasons, political, economic reasons, is no longer profitable. So they are looking for some place. That they could continue. You see Foxconn. Foxconn, they were in China for 30 years. And the entire manufacturer base is in China. But right now they decided to shift, and they now have a team in India, and just trying to coordinate with the Indian government and also with Indian business, and try to find the best way they could eventually, setting up a new base in India. And Taiwanese government, because I'm from embassy, we also think that working with India is a better choice. Why? You see, because if you look at our trade figures, the trade figures look very impressive, but the problem is that Taiwan became too much dependent on China. Okay, the figure, like in 2021, the bilateral trade between Taiwan and China is $273 billion. It's 33% of Taiwan's total global trade. And Taiwan is not the only country in East Asia have this problem. Korea, Japan, all have this problem. And you see the political relation I explained earlier, not so good. So for Taiwan, that the best strategy is not to continue this economic dependence, but to try to find another partner. And this partner, we could, we have some common interest. So India is the best option. Okay, then people-to-people exchange. Yeah, before COVID, every year about 40,000 Indian people travel to Taiwan. Yeah, this number is too small. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know how many Indians travel to Singapore every month? Yeah, probably 2 lakh. Yeah, okay. But a whole year, only 40,000 Indians travel to Taiwan. Yeah, and we had a direct flight. Yeah, Taipei to Delhi, and I hope we have a direct flight to Mumbai. Yeah, and around 5,000 to 7,000 Indians are living in Taiwan. Yeah, and another 3,000 Indian students study in Taiwan. Yeah, and I have to say that Taiwanese universities are now very, very active in recruiting international scholars and students. And so far, because Indian scholars and students are very good at English and also very smart, so Taiwanese university recruit a lot from India. Yeah, and another reason is because we also try to promote Taiwan education in India through Indian universities. Yeah. We have a project called Taiwan Education Center that is to cooperate with the Indian universities and then set up this language training program. And we send teachers from Taiwan to India to teach language because you don't like Confucius Institute. Yeah, okay, yeah. So if you still want to learn Chinese, then you choose Taiwanese teachers. Yeah, okay, it's a better choice. Yeah, and these are Taiwanese teachers now teaching in various universities in India. In total, we have 26 centers. Yeah, but our target is to have a teacher in every Indian state. Yeah, every Indian state. Yeah. And in Delhi, we also try to promote the Taiwan culture. Like this, December we had a Taiwan Film Festival. Yeah, and I always told my boss that don't do it in Delhi, you should do it in Mumbai. So perhaps this year we'll come to Mumbai to have a Taiwan Film Festival. Yeah. Of course, that showing the Taiwan film, in Bollywood is probably not, a smart way. But actually, Taiwan also very good place for making some independent films and documentaries. Yeah, and in Delhi, I also know that many, because India is a huge filming industry. Yeah, you produce the largest number of movies in the world. So movies are very important. A part of Indian people's life. Yeah, so I think that having some exchanges and cooperation about the movies, I think should be a good option. Yeah, so last year, we had this in Delhi. So I hope this year probably we could have a film festival in Mumbai. Can Nehru Center can do this place? Okay, yeah. I can guarantee you, I will choose the best movie from Taiwan. Yeah. And finally, I would say that India also has in terms of the soft power, India also has a lot of advantage. You should try your best to promote, the soft power of India, because India's image in the world, compared to China India is very positive. Yeah, like. Mr. Satyarthi. Yeah, a few years ago, I invited him to my university to give a lecture. Yeah, Mr. Satyarthi, the Nobel Peace Laureate, but very humble. Yeah, and he gave a speech at my university. Did you see me over there? Yeah, and my students are so crazy. Yeah, all students are so happy and to have, because they say this is the first time they see a Nobel Peace Laureate. Yeah, and what he did, that here in India and also around the world, I think very, very important. You see China, they don't do that, but India do this. Yeah, okay. So in general, I would say that in Taiwan, in India, now I think it's the best time for us to forge a real partnership. Yeah, not just economics, education, and also other areas. Okay, we have a lot of things in common. Yeah, probably you don't know. Like we drink tea, you also drink tea. Yeah, we are famous for bubble tea, and you are famous for your milk tea. Yeah, so we are natural partners. Okay, let's continue. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chen, for that rather informative talk. And thank you for using humor, because it's a very dense topic, and to learn so much about Taiwan, a country that we don't know a lot about, with the use of humor and all these cultural aspects that you introduced us to. So thank you very much for that. We're now going to break for a question and answer session, and after that, Mr. Desai will give his presidential remarks. So if you have a question, we'd be happy to pass the mic along to you, and the speaker can answer from here.
Thank you so much. I'm Vishal Mishra from Shailendra Degree College, also known as Shailendra Education Society. So my question is, if India and Taiwan becomes friend, so what is the military advantage to India? And is there any kind of economical growth in GDP?
So I take a few more questions, or I answer one by one?
If you prefer, yeah.
Okay, okay. So you mean that how that the... Yeah, please.
Sir, I have one more question. I have one question. So, like we know the India's and China's relations, it is not as good. So if war begins between India and China, so will Taiwan help India or not? What is opinion of yours?
My one question is why there is no direct flight service between India and Taiwan. That's most stumbling block between developing the relation between Taiwan and India. There is no direct flight to Taiwan from India. So is there any particular reason or same diplomatic relations? Fine.
I can, yeah.
Or if you want, you can answer.
Yeah.
Take more.
You spoke about I'm Dr. Sangeeta Roy from NES Ratnam College, Bhandup. I'm a teacher. I just wanted to know, you spoke about MOUs with the universities, yeah. Indian and this. So these MOUs, are they operational? I mean, are universities in India actually having MOUs with Taiwan? Yeah. Okay, so something like this can be worked out. Student exchanges and all that.
Okay, let me answer these questions first, okay? Yeah, the first question by this young gentleman is how India can benefit from Taiwan. Well, I would say that there are a number of areas that we never thought of. For instance, skill training program. Like if you want Foxconn to come here to invest, but the Foxconn has their requirement for some kind of skilled laborers. So how you get this kind of laborers? So actually, I think some kind of program that we could plan, that is send some Indian engineers to Taiwan for some training or have some intern, then send them back to India. Yeah, this is one way. And also another I could ever think of is agriculture. Yeah, in India, I think that even right now is a huge population working in the agricultural sector. And in Taiwan, right now the agriculture is all technology-driven agriculture. We call it smart agriculture. We use a high technology to help improve the quality and harvest of the agricultural products. So when I went to some places in India, like Assam, their natural environment is very similar to Taiwan. So whatever you can grow in Taiwan, you can also grow in India. And you could have a watermelon. Here, you probably cost 100 rupee, but the same watermelon in Taiwan, then the price you could be 1,000 rupee, something like that. Yeah. So there are some areas of cooperation I think both sides has to explore. Yeah. And the question about the direct flights is the main reason right now is that other Asian airliners like Thai Airways and also Cathay Pacific, they are very, very competitive. Yeah, like every day, how many flights are from India to Bangkok? Yeah, I think like 15, 20 flights to Bangkok. And then from Bangkok to Taipei, there are also like 10 flights. So that if Taiwan want to open a direct, flight from Taipei to Indian cities, there's, they don't have much competitiveness compared to these other Asian airliners. Yeah. So this we have to find some way to solve. Yeah. Yeah, because for the business people, if we stop by Bangkok or Hong Kong or Singapore, then to Taipei is 10 hours. But if we have a direct flight, it will be only 6 hours. Yeah, so I always say that we should have a direct flight. Yeah, and we had to Delhi, but not to Mumbai. Yeah, so we have to find some way to, to get it done. Yeah, and about the MOU question, yeah, because before I came to India, I was a vice president for international affairs in my university. So every month I was signing MOU. Yeah, so you asked the right person, Yeah, okay. So MOU actually for Taiwanese universities, they are free to sign MOU with any university in the world. Yeah, even with Chinese universities. Yeah, and like my university, we have 300 partners in the world. Yeah, including like 15 from India. Yeah, okay. There are usually 3 levels MOU. One is like a department level. The department and department they sign MOU. And second level is a college level. Yeah, and the third one is a university level. Okay, and usually you sign MOU, then both universities could initiate some kind of exchange program between both sides, like a faculty exchange, student exchange, and joint research, okay, joint events, or eventually they could have a joint degree, joint programs. Yeah, like now Taiwanese universities, we now have a lot of this kind of joint programs with the European and American universities. Like in my university, you study a PhD program the first year in my university, and second and third year you go to Europe, and the fourth year you come back. And eventually you get a degree, and this degree will recognized by both sides. Yeah, it's a Taiwanese plus European degree. So this is something that the Taiwanese universities are doing right now. But the Indian government, so far, you still have some restrictions about universities cooperating with the foreign university for joint degree programs. Yeah, because now all universities are trying to recruit the best the students from other countries. So the best way for you to keep your best student over here is joint program. You got my point? Yeah. So like you see IIT, they graduate, they go to US. They don't come back. But if your IIT has a joint program with like Harvard, MIT, so eventually these students, they will get the degree, like both IIT and MIT or Harvard recognized, something like that, yeah. So I think that in the future, Taiwanese universities could also have this kind of a program with the Indian universities. Yeah, because we have like about 30 universities. We have 150 universities. 30 of them are top 1,000 in the world. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Any more questions? At the back.
Hello, sir. My name is Mahesh Chavan. I'm in seafood business, and I have a few customers there in Taiwan. So they buy seafood from India. But I would like to convey their concerns to you about the import duties. So what they feel is the import duties on seafood products are really high. Like for example, on silver pomfret, it is around 26%, and lobsters is around 15%. Yeah. They feel that it should be reduced to 8% so that the trade between the two countries increase. Nowadays, what is happening is because of this high duty structure, they are losing business to China. I don't think that you will like again. So can you guide me on this, please?
Yes, okay. Actually, when I went to other places to talk about Taiwan, I also got questions like this. Right now, both Indian and Taiwanese companies, they complain that they do trade, they have to pay high, tariff, tax. Yeah, and the only solution is FTA. Yeah. Okay. I'm not. Okay. I know. You might. Okay. Let me explain. I have my logic. Okay. India now you have you now have FTA with UK, Oman, UAE, Australia, right? Okay. So actually, Indian government now already adjust its policies about FTA. A few years ago, they don't want FTA, but right now you have FTAs. But the Indian government right now do not talk with us about FTA. And why FTA? Because FTA is, we don't need to use the word FTA. We call it a comprehensive economic agreement, whatever. And then we could get all these issues together to strike a deal about how to reduce the tariff together. Okay, because the Taiwanese companies also complain. They sell products to India, they also pay high tariff. Same problem, yeah. And right now, our trade is only 8 billion US dollars. It's a very small amount, okay? And actually, IT products is a 0 tariff. Yeah, so the people who really pay high tariff are other sectors. So now, I think this is the best time for India and Taiwan to talk about trade agreement. And we could also, of course, that India and Taiwan, both sides, we also have want to protect some of our industries. So you could have an early harvest list. So some sectors we open up first, and some sectors we could open later. Yeah. So I think that both sides should start talking on this. Yeah. And actually, this is our policy. We are open to have a trade agreement with India. But of course, having this trade agreement, it will take time. Yeah, and so if we start talking today, it probably take 5, 10, even 15 years to achieve. Yeah. So the second way that perhaps we could do is that right now, Taiwan and India government, every year we have a deputy economic ministry level talk every year in November. So all trade disputes, were brought up onto the table for discussion. So I think that certain sectors, if you have this kind of dispute and you have this kind of demands, and you could ask the Indian government to make it an issue that during the annual Taiwan-India economic talk, then we could discuss whether we could solve the problem at a certain sector. This is a second option. Okay. Yeah.
I have a question, sir.
Please.
You were speaking about India being a soft power, and you are absolutely right, sir. Mm-hmm. But did the Indian Council for Cultural Relations ever got in touch with you, or did you hold any talks with them? Because they are, I'm told, have been asked to step up the soft power campaign. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very good question. Actually, we know them. Yeah, we approach and we also have some exchanges. But signing a formal agreement is not easy because ICCR, Indian Council on Foreign Cultural Relations, is under MEA. Yeah, it is. It's under MEA. So when MEA is in charge of all foreign affairs, then they will have their own concern. Yeah, but for Taiwan, we are open. Taiwan and India right now, even we don't call it formal diplomatic relations, but we still sign more than 20 agreements so far. All sectors, like Indian student going to Taiwan to get the PhD degree, and this degree you come back to India, it is recognized by Indian government. This agreement signed in 2008. Yeah. Okay. So all kinds of agreement being signed. So I think that. In terms about this having some kind of cooperation on culture with ICCR, I think it's possible. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, sir. Sir, with China, we have a lot of sister city MOUs. But with Taiwan, we really don't have anything of this sort, which will promote culture, economy, trade, so on and so forth. Even for that matter, flights, all of these kind of things. So don't you think so that since your presence is here since 1992, according to your presentation, don't you think so that it's high time that we need to have some kind of not exactly sister city, but some kind of cooperation between any of those two cities that you feel like, because you're still visible in Delhi and Chennai, and you're planning to come to Bombay also.
Yeah, okay. That's a good idea. Sister city. Yeah. Mumbai also has sister city with many other big cities in Taiwan, right? Okay. Yeah. Then you could cooperate with. We have many options. You could choose Taipei, Kaohsiung, or my city Taichung. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Usually this kind of sister city project or partnership launched by, first you have a mayor leading a delegation to visit, and then you sign MOU, and then you could launch some kind of programs, cultural program, economic forum, whatever. Yeah. So if Mumbai is interested in cooperating with any Taiwan city, I will be very, very happy to help. Yeah, and if any Taiwan city, they are looking for a partner in India, and of course I will first recommend Mumbai. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Maybe just one more question now at the back. Okay. And there's one at the back, so we'll just take these last two.
India had strong relations with Ukraine in terms of political, social, and economic exchange, but we know India has not yet made a statement over Ukraine-Russia war at the UN. So how vital is India's partnership at an international level to Taiwan if, in the off chance, China does invade Taiwan?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a serious question because last year, when Russia-Ukraine war happened, and so many people, not just in India, but all over the world, people are talking about if a similar thing happened in Taiwan in future, that how will we respond, whether Taiwan could get support. Yeah. And of course, from Taiwan perspective, we hope that everyone will, support us. Yeah. Okay. But Taiwan, we also face some limitations. Yeah. Compared to Ukraine, Taiwan is not a member of United Nations. Okay. Yeah. We have a very good relation with U.S. and Japan. Yeah. But the world community, the international community, yeah, I don't know if they will be supportive Taiwan. Yeah. But I would say that the policies of Taiwan government. You see our president, you see our government. When China they had all these military war games around our waters and airspace. We react very carefully, we don't want to be, provocative, because I think that Taiwan as a democracy and also a small country, we have the responsibility of preserving peace right now. But Taiwan is not unprepared. Yeah, that a few weeks ago, I wonder if you saw the news that our government, our defense ministry, decided to earlier our military service for the young people is only 4 months, and we decided to stand to 1 year. Okay, yeah, I think this is something that we show that eventually, if such a thing, the war happened, and we have to defend by ourselves. Of course, international support is important. Yeah. Okay.
Just one last question now.
Sir, sir, your supporter and the protector, America, is also not certain to recognize you, because it says that we recognize only one China policy. And so there is uncertainty in it. Uncertainty is not good. Either way, the situation has to be decided one way or the another. Either you get the full diplomacy for all the countries, or the China will take over. Because if the America is not wanted to say that deny the China's sovereignty on the Taiwan, then there is a uncertainty, and there has to be decided one way or another. What is your view?
I think you are right that U.S. They do not recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state. That is true. That is because the history in 1979 they shifted diplomatic recognition. Earlier they recognized Taiwan, and then they shifted to Beijing. Okay, and at the same time, because the U.S. and China negotiating, when they are negotiating for diplomatic relationship, China requests U.S. not to recognize Taiwan. So in 1979, U.S. made this very difficult decision, saying that we will have a diplomatic relation with Beijing, but we will try our best to help Taiwan defend itself, and we will also try to protect Taiwan. Okay, so U.S. had this Taiwan Relation Act. Okay, and in the next 40 years, we see that every American president, no matter Republican or Democrat, when they comment, when they were talking about U.S.-Taiwan relation, they all of them say that the U.S. has a commitment to the security of Taiwan. Of course, from Taiwan perspective, we are not satisfied. We are not happy. We want full diplomatic recognitions. And 30, 40 years when Americans abandoned Taiwan, Taiwan was a very, very small country. And nobody in the world care about Taiwan. But today, Taiwan, in terms of economic size, our GDP is top 20 in the world. Okay, and earlier I also talked about our, like a semiconductor and also IT capacity, technologies capacity. So right now, I think Taiwan is becoming too big to ignore. So not just U.S., I think that the big powers, including India, should also find some way to make friends with Taiwan. And the current situation you see because of international law, and that Taiwan did not get the full diplomatic recognition by the international community, is not created by Taiwan. It is created by history or by China. So you should not blame Taiwan for this. And I think that we should find some way that we could have a normal relation. This is my view. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Chen. Before we go on with the presidential remarks, Honorable Member of Parliament, Mrs. Supriya Sule is here, and we'll hope to hear from her in the end. We also have a few copies of Dr. Chen's research paper, so we are happy to share them with you. If you prefer a soft copy, we'll be happy to mail it to you. Now, Dr. Desai, please.
I thank YV Chavan Center and Nehru Center for inviting me. I'm really surprised in the sense that they all know, Nilay sir and others know, that my area of specialization in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Myanmar, but they invited me on this topic. But one thing that all Indians or South Asian, Central Asian or international community need to know more about China, Russia's game plan, and Taiwan. Because you can't discuss China's game plan without Taiwan. So I thank everyone for inviting me. Dr. Momin Chen touched various issues, but I think he primarily spoke on the issues of trade, because the topic is why Taiwan should be India's friend. I think after listening to Dr. Momin, there should not be any doubt in anyone's mind that Taiwan should be India's friend. And I believe we are much more than friends. We need to go beyond friendship. What I mean when I say we need to go beyond friendship, that we need to have trade relations, because they rightly said that in 2021, the trade between India and Taiwan was mere $7.7 billion in 2021, while in 2022, the trade between India and China was $135 billion. And out of that, we imported $118 billion goods, and we exported mere 17 plus billion dollars. So it also shows that how China is trying to influence, how China is trying to capture the market, not only of India, but across. The influence of China, if we talk about our neighboring countries, maybe Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Maldives, even in Afghanistan, Pakistan. In Pakistan it is called China is all-weather friend. That's a reality. So we need to have more trade with Taiwan. And he rightly said that Taiwan is IT hub. And when he mentioned Assur, Acer, and he also mentioned Foxconn. And when he mentioned Foxconn, I saw a couple of people were laughing. Because Foxconn is very significant as far as Maharashtra is concerned, Maharashtra or Mumbai is concerned. Because Vedanta and Foxconn, they were planning to invest in Maharashtra, and ultimately it went to Gujarat. And in Gujarat, they will be investing $20 billion. So that's a Foxconn. And in fact, Taiwan produces around 70% of the semiconductor, around 70 or more. I believe it's much more. And so we need to have trading relation with Taiwan as far as semiconductor, IT, and they are much more ahead on various areas. And not only Taiwan, if you talk about Cambodia, is also the similar, Cambodia, Vietnam. So we need to promote trading relations with Taiwan. We need to have people-to-people contact, because there is no people-to-people contact. He said that about 500 Indian students are studying in Taiwan. It can be much more, because after seeing what happened in Ukraine or in China, we can explore that possibility also, So there are so many areas where we can move forward. And especially I think that we need to extend our solidarity with Taiwanese people, especially when they are facing threat from China. Because Mike Gilday, who is the Navy Chief of United States, recently he made a statement that China is likely to attack Taiwan before 24. Hope it doesn't happen. But Taiwan is always under threat. I remember on 2nd August, when Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, Taipei. So virtually there was a scenario like some war is taking place, that type of scenario. So in that scenario, I really don't believe that China will dare to attack Taiwan because there are various agreements. He rightly said that the United States have Taiwan Relations Act. And under Taiwan Relations Act, US can help in a massive way, like US and other countries are helping Ukraine. So that is the one thing. I think that he rightly said that. Earlier he said, in the beginning he said, that's about Mumbai and financial capital, not only of India, but of South Asia or Asia. So we need to have Taipei or Taiwan's economic and cultural office in Mumbai. Because Taiwan is one of the fastest growing nations as far as economy is concerned. And with Mumbai, they can have direct relation, so it will help both the ways. It will help Taiwan, also it will help Mumbai as well as India. So we need to have office in Mumbai. They are working on that, and hopefully it will materialize soon. And technically what he said, that their office cannot be called embassy because we have no diplomatic relations. But it's a de facto embassy in the sense. So they issue visas and everything. But being a de facto embassy has certain limitations. They cannot be equated with other embassies. So we need to see, when we say that we need to go beyond friendship, so it means India also need to give priority to Taiwan. For example, FTA. Why can't we move speedily on FTA? FTA is the most easy. If FTA between India and Taiwan materialize, then I believe it can go to many, many billions, than 7.7 billion. In fact, 7.7 billion, we have trade with Bangladesh. It's much more even that what we are having with Taiwan. And with Taiwan, the possibility is much more because Taiwan is IT hub. So we should explore that possibility. Again, Taiwan is one of the flourishing democracy. And that also we have to keep in mind. There are many reasons that China's threat, and we also need to realize that China as well as Russia, both the countries are they have expansionist policies. We have witnessed what Russia done in 2014 in Crimea. They took away Crimea from Ukraine, and again, they are aspiring to take Donbass from Ukraine now. So that is their expansion policy. We are witnessing what China is doing across LSE. They have already, it is generally believed that China has occupied around more than 1,000 square kilometers of India in last 2.5 years. So keeping that, we also need to keep that in mind. And that's why we need to have more dialogue with Taiwan. We need to have more people-to-people contact with Taiwan. We need to have more trade with Taiwan. And I think there are, he touched other issues like, just I was asking before meeting, I was asking him, should India act like what US has, Taiwan Relations Act? Because through Taiwan Relations Act, United States is helping Taiwan in a big way, and also in case of security threat, United States will be able to help much more Taiwan, because technically Taiwan is not part of the UN, so there are certain limitations. So just I was asking him, So he says that it is not necessary. It is not necessary. Without that type of act, without Taiwan Relations Act, that type of act, India can do much more. India can do much more. And I think that also we have to keep in mind. And Taiwan should be on our priority for various reasons. Somewhere, China's game plan, Russia's game plan need to be stopped. And if they win Taiwan, if China attacks Taiwan, just imagine what kind of scenario in Asia Pacific or South Asia or Central Asia. So Taiwan should be India's priority. We need to explore the possibility of having good relations with Taiwan, and also on various fronts like business. We have so much opportunity. He spoke about films. Indian film industry can shoot in Taiwan. That kind of possibility we should explore. I think I'll stop here, and I thank Dr. Muming Chen for giving excellent speech. Thank you.
Now I'd like to call upon Honorable Member of Parliament, Mrs. Supriya Sule, the Working President of Yashwantrao Chavan Center, to deliver her remarks.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yashwantrao Chavan Center, Mumbai Dialogue on World Affairs, Why Taiwan Should Be India's Friend and Developments of Taiwan-Indian Relations. I thank Dr. Chen and Mr. Desai for making this effort. Actually, this is a program which Dipti and, to be honest, Purva really lead this entire vertical, and Mrudul, we could have not done this without you. And with the support of Nehru Center, which is always so supportive for such totally interesting programs. So I thank Sri Sahani for all the support that he gives us. The whole idea of starting this program was, while I work in Delhi 100 days of the year, I realized when I come back to Mumbai, everybody is interested in international relationships, but nobody knows who to turn to, who's really working in it. And we have to have some activity going on. And that's when I spoke to Dr. Mrudul, and he suggested that why don't we start this activity and let's see where it takes us. And it's a very small intervention that we are trying, because it's a global thing, but it's a very small beginning. And I see that slowly it's picking up. There are people who are really interested. And today's talk was very, very special because this is, I mean, we have a show going on, but we show this live as well. So there are thousands and thousands of people who see it online as well. So, you know, it works both ways, and it stays recorded. So people have the flexibility of watching it another time. So it is really something very encouraging for us, because we see the new generation coming. It's not just important that we come. I see a lot of school, college and students who keep coming for this event. So it's very, very encouraging for us. And it's very special that Amrish has made an effort and come to us. And he'll always add a lovely story. And when I just met him today, he mentioned to me this entire dialogue reminds him of the movie The Life of Pi. So it's something really close to all our hearts, and that's really the relationship globally we've all made with Taiwan. And India, Taiwan, I mean, if I think of made in Taiwan, I think many products that are in our homes are made in Taiwan. The new technology that changed our lives, be it speakers, be it television, which actually changed our lives of connecting, reading, understanding. It's all so many things from Taiwan. And we used to sort of say, where is this made in? And they say it's made in Taiwan. And there was a trust behind the Taiwan and the product and the quality of the product. So Taiwan is actually an established brand which assures how to make vada pav. So it's very reassuring that when it's made in Taiwan, you're sure it's of good quality. So you come, this is good baggage to have, you know. So I'm really glad that this talk went well, and I think strengthening democracy in Taiwan, trade links, because how do two relations of two governments, people matter. And most times what happens is when we visit countries, the people are just overwhelming. The problems is sometimes us politicians who really create the complex problems. Because when you go to any country, anywhere in the world, including all our neighbors, when you go there on a trip or a study tour, they are so overwhelming and warm that you say, like, where's the problem then? And there are groups who now work for no borders. And I think the world has become flat now. In such a situation, I think we need to have more dialogue, and not just at the levels of where government to government, but maybe entertainment, people, scholars, maybe youngsters exchange program with students. There's a lot of opportunity for all of us. So I really feel that this is a very small beginning to a long-term relationship. I thank each one of you from the bottom of my heart for making this effort, and I'd like to give you any kind of feedback, because we really want this program to reach many, many more youngsters like you all who may be interested. If you would prefer some special people to come from Delhi to talk on this dialogue, if you have any recommendations, we're completely open. We really feel we want to take this Mumbai dialogue to the next level. Thank you very much. I wish you all a happy new year. And Makar Sankrant, there's a tradition in Maharashtra which is about Sankrant, which is now. And what it says is, the tradition is, you share sweets towards each other, and you commit to each other that the entire year we will speak sweetly to each other. So I promise you that India is going to start to speak sweetly to Taiwan. Yeah, it is. It's a moment. It's not just a picture. It's, as both of them had a deep committed relations. It was a very warm, I think it was friendship, trust between the two of them. And I think Y.B. Chavan, being the External Affairs Minister of India, really traveled in those days with no technology, less connectivity, but he really traveled. And I think wherever India is today internationally, the beginning started with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's efforts to build embassies, relationships globally. So I think it's a very proud moment, and I thank Mr. Sahni again from the bottom of my heart to take this Nehru and Chavan legacy and bring it, the real history, which is the history we are proud of, to the next generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supriyatai, for your remarks. Before we conclude for the evening, may we all rise for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you at the next Mumbai Dialogue. Thanks.